This has been a long project. We built this shipping container from scratch. Started with it when it was just a metal box. So this is the final night in the shipping container. The guys come and pick it up tomorrow. It's done. Several months of work, you know, many hours of fun. I mean, we had fun, and we had fun because we did it on our time, on our money, and our way. So, you know, there wasn't anybody breathing down our neck or anything. You know, it's always cool when you have a project and you see it to completion and you see it flourish and finish, and then someone comes and finds value in what you've done. So I'm really happy for that. I'm blown away at the fact of all these television shows about tiny homes and shipping containers and making houses out of anything. So for me to see firsthand and to build firsthand an actual house out of a shipping container, and to see what it's like to sell it, it's a warning to any asshole that gets this idea. And in the early days when we first started with this, we told a few people about it. You know, just the buzz, the excitement, you know, like, hey, we're building shipping container cabins. And there were people who said, tell me more about it. And they wanted to jump in on that idea or copy that idea. And now after doing it and seeing how hard it is and how hard it is to sell it, knock yourself out. Go buy 3. Like, don't fuck around with 1. Don't, just go big. Just go 5. Mortgage your house and see where that gets you. Because, you know, I understand for every so many no's, there's a yes. And it wasn't like people were coming in here and going, this sucks, I hate it. Every person liked it. And every person was like, this is wonderful. And you could actually see in their eyes that they were daydreaming about how awesome it would be to have a cup of coffee at this window. How great it would be to see, you know, some lake or river or stream or something out this glass door. And then when it came time to put a deposit or make the payment and close the deal, it was like, I'll call you Monday. And then you wouldn't hear shit from them until Monday. So expectation versus reality is a huge learning curve in any industry, in any business. But this whole rage and this whole trend of tiny homes, shipping container homes, it's not everything it's cracked up to be. And that's coming from a guy who did it, built it, and sold it. So the final night, and we out.
Well, we learned a lot during this process. Our thoughts were, you know, we put a lot of time, energy, and effort into building a structure that someone could live in. And we've overcome a couple of issues that are facing the economy. You know, people can't afford to buy a house. You know, people oftentimes don't have the full payment for rent. And we thought if we built this area, you know, this space, it would be able to solve both problems. Sadly, those expectations weren't accurate. A lot of people called and they loved the idea, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we asked them to take some bread and they couldn't come up with any. And we figured if we could get them at a reasonable price, put X amount of dollars into getting it habitable, there'd be a nice spread there for us. Sadly, the market has spoken and they're broke. You know, there's this concept where people are spending more and they're trapped either in their houses or the apartments or to the evil landlord that they're paying on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. And if we could get past the point where people are stuck in this conceptual void and have them think outside of the box, you know, have them think inside of the container, then I think that would open up a lot of doors.
The reason this is a special day is because this is the end of one of the final days at the container. So, as you can see, we've left like a 2-foot section back here. If you wanted to do solar or anything like that, you could put shelves back here for storage. This would be good for battery storage. Another thing you could do is cut holes in the door and put all kinds of wacky shit in there to put airflow and stuff, but we didn't do that. Check this out, check this out. You ready for this? You ready for this? Oops, wrong one. Looks good, doesn't it? Stand out here and get you a sunburn on a dark night. So, welcome to the chateau. The lights come on. Remember that electric I was talking about that's up to code? Who's laughing now? So this is where the magic happens. Basically the window, it's magic. You look out, air doesn't come in. Rain, snow, it's all out there. The idea and the concept here is this is a bookshelf. You can put little porcelain chickens, little cats, all kinds of little trinkets and shit up here. It'll hold them. So this is reclaimed barn board. The barn board, as you can see, even these pieces here, the trim and everything was barn board. And it has this cool rustic aged look that you just can't get at Home Depot. I mean, I know the new trend is everybody gets the old looking boards. That shit looks like ass. You want real stuff, you gotta kick the roof off of a shed, let it sit outside for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, get some worms in it, roaches, ants, anything. I mean, get it organic. You can't have this half-ass shit, okay? You see these television programs, you see videos on the internet about tiny homes and all this. Go build one. Go build one and then try to sell it. So I'm really proud of this. I fabricated this. Look at that. It slides like a barn, closes like a door. These sliding hinges, now your big box retailers sell them, and they sell the kit, and the kit is like something stupid. It's like $100 or something. I've got like $5 in this. I've really got just one piece of metal. I bought the brackets. Oh, actually, no, that's just like a V piece of metal. So I surprise myself sometimes. And then these guys are just the wheels from a garage door. So that's pretty cool. That takes you into the bathroom, or as we call it around here, the dirt closet. So there's our speaker wire, and the idea with that was to wire in some sort of old 8-track or CD changer in there. Something real organic that would really just bring the most out of the hippie culture. And hipsters could really get into it also, because I think they would enjoy reclaimed material, gluten-free, free-range, organic sounds coming from right there. I think that would be really enjoyable. So follow me. I'll show you the see, the switches work. And a lot of this really all boils down to the magic of being able to put 20 wires together back there and plug. This is the tiny, the turd closet. They're going to put a composting toilet in here, so the composting toilet will make it a little bit easier. You don't have to deal with flushing and sewer and all that. Yeah, so that's the closet, and the turd closet, that is. So it feels awesome knowing that this is our last night in the old shipping container cabin. I mean, we've worked our nuts off in here. And we came out ahead. We didn't completely lose our ass. But for one, we had to rent an industrial manufacturing space, which wasn't cheap. We had to buy the container, and we're in Massachusetts, so we had a port. But the interesting aspect of building the shipping container cabin was that getting the shipping container 1 hour away, the transportation costs were 100% the cost of the container itself, which is insane. So if you ever want to take one of these and do 3 or 4 states away, or we've had people in upstate Maine, 6 hours. It's going to be $2,000, $2,500 just to ship this there on the rollback. And so the costs involved are still far less than stick building a house. But, we've even had people complain. Like, I had this lady message me and was like, it looks like a dumpster on the outside. And I'm like, lady, do you know what the fuck a shipping container is? It doesn't come with stenciled flowers and vinyl siding to make you happy. So I called her bad names and she didn't message me back, but it's a complicated process. So anybody that would ever want to build a shipping container to sell, do your market research and listen to me when I say you might not get your money back. If you're building it for yourself, these things are fucking awesome. There's been many times that we were working on this and I'm like, man, I would live here. this would be an ideal cabin. And for the price that we put into it, you couldn't get something this cool, you know. And of course, it all goes back to the reclaimed materials also, because each one of these barn boards would probably be, you know, $3, $4, $5 a foot if you had to buy that material with this, you know, fake old looking crap, or even just pine boards. So there's a real value in reclaimed materials. And you know, here we are, we're at the end of the rope.
This is the shipping container that we put a lot of energy and effort into building for you guys. Sadly, the market dictated that you may not be quite ready to absorb this type of technology or this type of living facility, but I love the accents right here in the front. You know, it really looks like an entryway to a house. Yeah, that red really pops to me. And if you think about all the work we put into getting all of this reclaimed material, you know, most people will just go to the store, they'll pay the extra money, but we said, no, we're gonna do it right. You know, I love that aspect where you really can function from a financial standpoint. If you think about the cost per square footage that you're really spending in this type of area, I think you're getting a good return on your investment. And as of this moment, I don't think Uncle Sam could tax you too badly on that, because they're considered storage. I think this is a great idea. I love the way it came out. I'm very proud. We put a lot of time, energy, and effort into making this. And I hope the owner gets to really enjoy this area and this space and make the most out of it. And there's an outlet on every wall. And again, look at the size of this. I know I feel trapped on some buses. Again, it has that feeling of a home. You know, every space, every square inch is maximized and useful. So, you know, I think we did a good job bringing all of those pieces together.
So one of the things to be aware if you're going to build a shipping container, now we're in New England. This is not a poor area. I mean, it has some of the lowest unemployment rates. The per capita income here is really high. Statistically, this place is ideal. You have Maine, New Hampshire, Western Massachusetts. You have all these regions where people have vacation homes. Property is relatively affordable. You can go to Maine and get, 100 acres, cheap. And our thinking was that you would be able to put something like this there as a recreational, or put it somewhere as a vacation home, somewhere close to your house. And we were wrong, we were absolutely wrong. As you can see, I mean, the quality of the construction, the materials we used, we really put a lot into this, and a lot of thought, a lot of utilization of space. And the biggest disappointment was the reality that people don't have disposable income. They just don't, I mean, you might buy an RV and use it once a year and it stares you in the face like a ghost haunting your driveway, but nobody really picked up on this. And, it blows my mind because it is such a trend. And when you see these companies, and there's only a handful of them that are doing it, a lot of times the owners of these companies or the investors of these companies made their money elsewhere, and it's kind of like a pet project, is what I realized. Because, they've made enough in other sectors where they can make these and they don't really care if it's super profitable or not. And if you continue and you thrive on and you strive on, it's like pulling teeth to try to get money out of a customer. So we would get calls and offers almost on a weekly basis that were substantially lower than the last time we told them no. So people would take advantage of the aspect that we weren't willing to compromise on our hard work and our effort. And, we stayed the course. We ended up selling it less than what we wanted, but still in line with what I would say would be market price. And, now I see that Amazon, just the other day I saw Amazon is selling a 40-foot shipping container for fucking $35,000. And it was like a slap in the face, because Amazon will charge you, what was it, $3,000 or $4,000 for delivery. And I'm sure that that's a regional only thing. So, the market's there, but where is it? We're in New England. We advertised in New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. We had 50 people interested, and out of 50 people, the person who bought it was a young dude that showed up with cash and was just, walked in. And ladies, how guys shop. We walk straight up and go, yep, you want to try it on? Nope, So that's how guys shop. The dude comes, he says, I love it. I love the rustic look. I love the rustic feel. And what he said was, I can't afford a mortgage, but I can afford some vacant land somewhere, or park this on family land, live in it, and I save my money. You know, paying a mortgage is stupid. I don't understand why anybody, if you got a big family and stuff and you don't want to, smash your grandma in the closet in there, I could see that this is not for you. But for, a person who doesn't need a 2,000 square foot house, this is ideal. So my expectation versus reality of building a shipping container, cabin, house, tiny house, whatever the hell you want to call it, I call it difficulty selling. It doesn't really matter the market. We're in a very good market. And all of the signs of this region were perfect. But what wasn't perfect was the independent variable of people just not having money. So lesson learned. I mean, will we build another one? Maybe. I definitely will build one for myself. I've got some ideas, but it is what it is. And I'm glad we did it. It was a cool learning experience, and I'm going to do it again.